Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
My Kingdom Builder written review is one that I've got trounced on because I think that it has a very strong fan base and I'm not exactly a fan of the game. So I expect negative comments on this video also. So go ahead and hit me up. Kingdom Builder is a game that was Donald X Vacdarino's follow-up, pretty much his follow-up to Dominion. And for all the accolades he didn't get for Dominion, they put on to Kingdom Builder, and I feel strongly that way. Kingdom Builder is a game that has a ton of expansions, a lot going on, and it's beloved by a lot of people. The game is very simple. You have one card in your hand that will give you a terrain type. You will then play that card on your turn, and you'll be able to put 3 buildings down on that terrain type. And if you can put it adjacent to what you've already built, then it needs to be done like that. Very simple. There's a couple other rules, like the buildings are on the board and give you some powers and stuff. But for the most part, on any given turn, you're putting 3 down. If you remember Through the Desert, very similar to that. The game is a little too simplistic to me in the fact that you're not doing a lot. I wish you had more cards in your hands so you can make more strategic decisions. But that really isn't this game, and people are going to be really angry at me for saying that, I'm sure. But for me, it's one of those games where people say, well, if you play it 10 times, it gets a lot more depth and you like it. But I have played it 10 times. And they'll say, well, actually it was 20 times. Okay. But I don't usually play that way. I don't usually play a game like 25 times or 100 times. I've always enjoyed playing a wide variety of games. As you can tell, I review a lot of games. I like playing a lot of games and different games. I really enjoy learning new games, but I don't necessarily enjoy mastering games. I don't really enjoy going down that path. I like the variety of it more than focusing on one. So I can't comment personally about this, but many people say the more that you play Kingdom Builder, the more the depth of it opens up. And I'm going to say that's probably true because the game is universally loved, pretty much. People really like Kingdom Builder. Some people have been burnt out on it, but most people who play it say, well, that's pretty good. And they've kind of expanded, which I know is more off sales than it is how good a game is. But usually if something's selling and continues to sell, then you would say, hey, this is probably a pretty good game. Not always, but I think it's a pretty good judgment of it. For my taste, it was a little too simplistic. The theme was boring. The colors utilized were ugly. It was just the whole package I kind of didn't like. And I usually do like Queen Games. This is what I would call the Queen game. It kind of encompasses a lot what Queen does. Good components, the bland colors, kind of an abstract feel to it. It does all of those things. This is just a game that didn't speak to me. I think it's universally loved, but just didn't fit what I wanted in a game. And I'm going to go ahead and purge it and move on to something else. So here is Kingdom Builder. This is Donald X Vacdarino's Queen game. Plays 2 to 4, 8+, in about 45 minutes. When you open it up, you're going to get a rule book. We'll take a look at this in just a few minutes. You're going to get some baggies if you wanted to use these. I believe these came with it. And you're going to get different languages like you do in all of the Queen games. You're going to get this modular board. You can see it's just kind of bland. I mean, it's just a bunch of hexes, and you have some buildings on it. You do get a scoring track with the Kingdom Builder in the middle. It can go around, so it's kind of weird how it goes around, but it works pretty good. I don't have any problems with this. You can see this is on the back of it. And then you're going to get these wooden buildings in your color. This is what you'll be putting down onto the board. You're going to get some additional tiles and stuff that you have. These are very thick, very nice. Queen always has really good components. You're going to get the normal Queen cards that you're going to have. You're going to have some decent artwork on it, if not generic, as you can tell. But everything you can see on this pretty easy to read and be able to see. So, and these will come in different languages. So you're going to have extra cards in here that you won't be utilizing. Overall, I think the components are fine. Very wooden, very generic. I think it's kind of what you're getting into is a very abstract, very simple game. But the components are really good quality, as most Queen games are. So here's a rule book for a Kingdom Builder. You're going to see a picture of all the components, which is like a must for me. Then you're going to have setup over here with a picture that kind of goes through everything that you're going to do. And then it's going to open up the flap here, and you can see there's always pictures and stuff and examples with Queen games. I love their rule books and the building rules rather, how they go, and an explanation of some of the builder cards that you're going to have, the extra location tiles on the back with an explanation of everything in the game. This is just fantastic. And as usual, Queen really hits it out of the park with their rule books. Fantastic, and I love all the Queen rule books. They're really, really good. So setup is going to be really easy. You can take any 4 of the boards, they just kind of slide together in a modular fashion. Doesn't really matter. You can do it randomly. You can choose whatever you want. Then you'll take the cardboard. There'll be a little gold token. There'll be a little settlement here with the gold around it. You'll take these as references and you just place them beside the board. I just put them here so you can easily see them. So there'll be one of these that can kind of be turned around so people can see what they do. Then you'll take 2 of each of these tiles and you put them on the ones on the board. You'll shuffle up the terrain tile. You'll take these cards that are called the Kingdom cards and you'll randomly draw 3 and place them face up next to the board. So this one says connect the location and castle hexes. Build a settlement next to a mountain. Build settlements on the waterfront. So you have these 3 cards, and we'll just kind of set them over here to the side. And then you give everybody their player colors, all their good doodads and whatnot. Everybody gets 1 terrain card that will be in their hand to start the game. You'll take one of the other terrain ones that you did not use, and you'll use it for scoring. They all have scoring on the back, so it doesn't matter which one that you utilize. And you'll take this, and then you're ready to play the game. So what you're going to do in a turn is very easy. You're going to play the 1 card that you have. There's no decision to make. You're going to play the 1 card, and you play 3 buildings in that area. Now, there's going to be some rules that I'll put in, but you just put 3 of the buildings down, and you've played your turn. If I would have had this card, then I would play 3 into that area. Very easy, and there's some rules included in it. We just kind of know this is what you do. So you play a card, and you put 3 buildings down. Now, these things you'll be able to collect on the board will give you extra actions. You can always use them before or after your main action. Your main action is playing the card and putting the buildings down. So those will pop up, and I'll show you how you get those. Now, if you're able to build, like say, next to this little area, fantastic. You'll grab this tile, and now you will have it to use. Now, if people need a reference, you'll have these that will be around the board people can look at and kind of see the reference of what they're doing. Now I'm going to zoom in on the board a little bit, just to kind of show you here. There's these castles that will be on the board. Each castle on the board, if you have at least 1 building around it, you will score 3 victory points at the end of the game. So connecting to these castles can be a big point one. You can see one here, and they're all over the board. So you want to have at least 1 hut. So if you have 2 huts here, you do not get 6 points. It's just 3. You have to have at least 1. So let's go over some of the building rules so that we have that kind of end. So let's say our first card we played was this one, like I showed you. Then you would have to place them all in this area if possible. Now, I could have chosen this area over here if I so choose, or this area, or this area. It just has to match the terrain type on the card. Now, say it came back around to me and I wanted to play this, I would need to play adjacent to any of my buildings if possible. So maybe I would go in this right here, or maybe start going over here towards this castle. But it would have to be adjacent to what I've already played, if at all possible, when you're playing the game. So when the game starts, you're going to have a number of settlements that you'll be able to play with. The game will end when somebody has placed all their settlements out on the board. At this point, we will evaluate these Kingdom Builder cards. Build settlements next to a mountain. So you'll have mountains on the board. You'll see them right through here. 1 gold for each of your own settlements built adjacent to 1 or more mountain hexes. Connect location and castle hexes. 4 gold for each location or castle hex linked contiguously by your own settlements to other locations and other castles. So in this one, you might want to have the castles or the locations matching up. Build settlements on the waterfront. 1 gold for each of your own settlement built adjacent to 1 or more water hexes. So this would push you. Now these are going to be face up 3, and every game you're going to have different ones. So it'll push you to score in different ways. So let me give a quick overview once again. At any turn, you're going to have 1 card in your hand. You play that card. If possible, you always play 3 buildings, and it has to be adjacent to where you're already at. If possible, if it's not possible, you can just place anywhere you want as long as it matches the terrain. You are trying to score points for these cards that were face up at the beginning of the game. You also get 3 victory points for picking up next to the castle. If you're able to pick up these tokens, which means just build a settlement next to it, they will give you additional powers that you can utilize during the game, and they will do different things for you. And that's how you play Kingdom Builder. Whoever has the most gold wins the game. Who should buy this game? I feel like if you're in that Ticket to Ride wheelhouse, you're looking for something light. You're looking for something that the whole family can enjoy, that anybody can play. It's very simple. You play the 1 card you have, and you lay 3 buildings out. And the strategic elements come from that. So you're not necessarily looking for depth and a lot of, not depth, it's not the word I'm looking for, like strategy and decisions and complicated decisions. And there's a lot going on for you to process. This is more of like playing a puzzle, or like doing a Sudoku. Like you're trying to figure out where you want things to go. The game moves quickly. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's fine. It was just kind of meh to me. I totally admit that I'm in the minority on this one. For you, this may be a keeper, but for me, it's a Purge. If you've never played it, I think you should track this one down and at least try it out. It's kind of one of those games that are a lot of people have played and know, and to be in the vernacular and speak about. This is a game that a lot of people discuss and talk about, although you don't hear about it as much as you used to. But for me, it will be a Purge. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.